8 Stoic practices to calm your mind and embrace the present. When we think about the constant noise in our minds, it's almost impossible not to recall the endless internal dialogues, worries, fears, doubts. These occupy every corner of our thoughts, creating a vicious cycle that traps us without our noticing. Often, this cycle paralyzes us. In today's world, where distractions and demands are everywhere, quieting the mind has become a monumental challenge. This is where Stoicism emerges as a compass amidst mental chaos. But don't be mistaken. Stoicism is not just about enduring adversity. It's about navigating life with serenity and mental clarity. Imagine your mind as a vast ocean. At times, it's calm and serene. At others, the waves of chaos and confusion feel overwhelming. How then can you stay afloat in this turbulent sea? How can you find that much desired tranquility when the external world keeps pulling you under? This is where 8 simple yet powerful strategies, rooted in Stoic philosophy, come into play. These are not magic tricks, but time-tested principles upheld by great thinkers like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius, remaining as relevant today as ever. Let's begin with the first. Accept what is without resistance. One of the deepest teachings of Stoicism is the radical acceptance of reality. Life doesn't always follow the script we've written, and when it veers off course, our minds quickly fill with frustration, anger, and sadness. However, Stoics challenge us to view these situations differently. Seneca expressed this brilliantly. Fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling. Resisting reality creates immense inner tension. Think of the times you felt frustrated over something that had already happened or over a situation beyond your control. Fighting against reality is exhausting, like rowing against a strong current with all your might, only to remain stuck in place. On the other hand, acceptance does not mean resignation or passivity. It's an act of mental strength. Recognizing that there are moments beyond our control is liberating. This acknowledgement quiets mental noise, making room for clarity and more thoughtful decision-making. Consider a simple example. You're stuck in terrible traffic and realize you'll be late for an important meeting. At that moment, you have 2 choices. Resist, curse the traffic. The first choice creates even more mental strain, while the second allows you to find the peace necessary to handle the unexpected as best as you can. Acceptance is not about agreeing or giving up. It's about letting go of the struggle against what cannot be changed. As Marcus Aurelius put it, the universe is change, and our life is what our thoughts make of it. When we resist change, we continually encounter frustration. However, by embracing it as an essential part of existence, we uncover unexpected calm. Life is not defined by what happens around us, but by how we choose to interpret and respond to those events. Accepting what is, without resistance, not only reduces stress, but also frees us from the mental suffering, allows us to focus on what truly matters, our attitudes and actions in the face of life's circumstances. Second, practice mindfulness in the present moment. This is where Stoicism truly shines. Its unshakable focus on the present. Marcus Aurelius, the great philosopher emperor, wrote in Meditations, "A man wastes his life when his mind wanders between the past and the future. The present is the only thing to hold firmly." This lesson, though simple, can completely transform how we live. Why? Because our minds have a habit of oscillating between 2 extremes, the past and the future. How often do we find ourselves replaying past moments? We question decisions, rethink words spoken, or dwell on regrets. Other times we plunge into worries about what's to come. What if I fail? What if things don't go as planned? This constant back and forth drains us, generates anxiety, and steals our inner peace. The key lies in training the mind to focus on the only moment that truly exists, the now. The present is the only reality over which we have any degree of influence. The past has already happened. The future is yet to come. Everything else is a mental construct, hosts of what we cannot change or assumptions about what may never occur. The more we allow our attention to drift from the present, the further we move from mental calm. Practicing mindfulness is the act of repeatedly bringing your mind back to the present moment. This doesn't mean ignoring the past or the future, but recognizing when we're being pulled by them and consciously repositioning ourselves in the now. It's like strengthening a muscle. At first, it feels challenging, but over time, it becomes natural. A simple example is focusing on your breath. When you feel your mind overwhelmed by thoughts of the past or future, stop. Take a few deep breaths, focusing on the air entering and leaving your body. This simple practice anchors you in the present moment. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of this. Pay attention to what is in front of you, to the tasks you have now. This practical and powerful guidance quiets mental noise. Think of moments when you've been fully immersed in something, an engaging conversation, reading a fascinating book, or even savoring a meal without distractions. During these experiences, your mind was at peace because it was completely present to. By focusing on the present, thoughts don't disappear but lose their power to dominate you. In the now, there's no room for regrets of the past or anxieties about the future. There's only this moment, and that brings a sense of calm that's hard to find elsewhere. In summary, practicing mindfulness is a powerful tool to silence the mind's noise. It allows us to realize that the here and now is enough, and when our mind is rooted in the present, we find a sense of balance and control that strengthens us to face any situation. Third, emotional detachment is one of the central practices of Stoicism, capable of completely transforming your worldview. It's important to understand that it doesn't mean becoming cold or distant, but developing a healthy relationship with people and situations. Stoic detachment means loving deeply, valuing moments, and committing fully, but without allowing your happiness to depend solely on outcomes or things beyond your control. Seneca expressed this clearly when he said, "Love, but as someone who knows it will not last forever." At first glance, this might seem harsh, but the intent is to protect your mind from suffering caused by excessive attachment. When we cling intensely to something, a person, a possession, or an idea of the future, we become vulnerable to the inevitable changes of life. Practicing emotional detachment doesn't mean living with indifference. It means fully enjoying what we have while acknowledging its transient nature. This liberates us from unnecessary fears and anxieties, granting us serenity and resilience. How many times have you felt anxious or emotionally overwhelmed by the fear of losing something? Perhaps a job, a relationship, or an opportunity. This kind of attachment makes us prisoners of circumstances, and when reality doesn't meet our expectations, the suffering becomes unavoidable. Detachment teaches us that we can value things, but our inner peace should not depend on them. For example, imagine you have a car you deeply value. There's nothing wrong with taking good care of it, but if you grow emotionally attached, even a small scratch could ruin your day or week. Practicing detachment would mean telling yourself, "I value this car, but it is just an object." This mindset frees you and offers a more balanced perspective. Epictetus also illustrates this idea by saying, "Never say about anything, 'I have lost it,' but rather, 'I have given it back.'" This shift in perspective helps us face losses, big or small, with greater ease. Instead of seeing something as a loss, you view it as part of life's natural cycle. By embracing emotional detachment, you will begin to notice that situations that once caused you anxiety or stress no longer have the same impact. This doesn't mean indifference, but rather refusing to let external circumstances hold power over your mental peace. In this balance lies true emotional freedom, allowing you to live more fully and presently. Fourth, reflect on your day, every day. Daily reflection is one of the most transformative practices taught by Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius in his Meditations wrote about his thoughts, actions, and responses to the challenges of the day. For him, this habit was not just an intellectual exercise, but a powerful tool for personal growth and continuous improvement. At the end of each day, he would ask himself, "This habit is not about harsh self-criticism, but rather an opportunity for self-awareness and course correction." Often we live on autopilot, repeating patterns and reacting impulsively without understanding why. The practice of daily reflection allows you to pause and examine these patterns, helping you focus on what truly deserves your attention and energy. Imagine setting aside a few minutes each night to review your day. Reflect on how you handled situations. Did I remain calm? Did I make decisions I am proud of? This process not only enhances self-awareness, but also highlights areas for improvement and encourages you to celebrate small victories that often go unnoticed. Seneca emphasized this practice, suggesting, "This act of introspection promotes a more focused mindset and helps build emotional resilience." To make this easier, consider answering 3 simple questions each night. What went well today? What could have been done better? How can I improve tomorrow? If you prefer, write your reflections in a journal, as Marcus Aurelius did. Not only does this clear your mind of worries before bed, but it also brings a sense of closure to the day, promoting better sleep. Over time, this practice creates a cycle of continuous improvement. It helps correct mistakes, reinforce good decisions, and refocus on what truly matters. By reflecting daily, you'll notice a significant reduction in stress and a greater sense of control over your life and emotions. Fifth, master your thoughts. Don't let them master you. The Stoics believe that the root of an anxious mind does not lie in external events, but in how we interpret them. And Epictetus captured this perfectly. It's not what happens to you, but how you interpret what happens. Although we cannot control the events around us, we can control how we respond to them. This starts with our thoughts. Our mind is like a garden. If left untended, negative thoughts, fears, and worries spread like weeds, suffocating our inner peace. Negative thoughts can easily spiral out of control, turning small setbacks into mental storms. A simple mistake might lead to self-criticism. Nothing ever works out. Oh, I'll never. This creates unnecessary mental noise. Stoics like Epictetus remind us, men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them. Often, the distress we feel isn't caused by the event itself, but by how we interpret it. The Stoic key lies in observation. Imagine watching your thoughts as a spectator, without attachment. You don't have to believe everything your mind tells you. When a negative thought arises, ask yourself, is this really as bad as it seems? Controlling your thoughts doesn't mean ignoring them, but redirecting them. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or making things worse? If it's worsening the situation, reframe it. For instance, instead of thinking, I'll never solve this problem at work, tell yourself, this is a challenge, but I can learn from it. The discipline of thought is an essential Stoic practice. Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. What you think directly influences how you feel. If you feed your mind with dark thoughts, life will feel heavy. But when you guide your mind rationally and constructively, you find tranquility. In practice, you can change the narrative your mind creates about events, reducing their emotional impact. Controlling your thoughts doesn't change what happens, but transforms your perception, bringing greater peace of mind. Sixth, in the rush of modern life, we're constantly immersed in tasks, notifications, and demands. This relentless pace overwhelms the mind, reduces productivity, and increases stress. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius recognize the value of pausing to recharge the mind. He wrote, people seek retreats in the countryside by the sea or in the mountains, but nowhere can you find a more peaceful retreat than within your own soul. You don't need to wait for a vacation to find calm. Short, intentional breaks during the day can be just as effective. These moments of respite allow your mind to clear, reorganize, and regain focus. How to take a conscious pause. Find a quiet moment, even if brief. Close your eyes and take deep breaths. Let your busy mind rest in silence, free from distractions. These pauses can last just a few minutes, but have a significant impact. They help reduce mental overload, ease irritability, and enhance clarity and focus. Taking intentional breaks is like recharging your brain's battery. Incorporating this habit into your daily routine isn't just a strategy to boost productivity. It's also a way to cultivate a calmer and more resilient mind amidst the chaos of daily life. A reset for the mind. Taking intentional breaks is more than a self-care practice. It's a powerful tool to reset your mind. It's like hitting a reset button, quieting mental noise, and bringing you back to the present moment. These pauses also foster mindfulness, enabling you to act with greater calm and deliberation. As Epictetus said, when faced with any difficulty, pause before acting and reflect. Seventh, cultivate gratitude for the small things. Gratitude is a powerful practice that can transform your mind. The Stoics understood that gratitude isn't merely a polite gesture but a mental habit capable of calming constant dissatisfaction and bringing more peace to life. Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." Much of our mental unrest stems from focusing on what we lack rather than appreciating what we already have. In today's world, we are bombarded with reminders of what we don't have, fueling dissatisfaction and anxiety. Gratitude serves as the antidote to this cycle. It redirects our attention to the good in our lives, even the small things: a roof over our heads, a genuine friendship, or a simple morning coffee. Marcus Aurelius captured this idea beautifully. Remember, you don't need much to live a happy life. How to practice gratitude. Spend a few minutes daily reflecting on 3 things you are grateful for. Focus on simple, concrete details, such as a peaceful moment or a meaningful conversation. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, shift your focus from what's missing to what you already have. This practice doesn't magically solve your problems, but helps break the cycle of negative thoughts and reduces anxiety. You'll begin to see your life in a new light, with more clarity. Practical example: if you're worried about finances, instead of dwelling on what's lacking, reflect on what you've already achieved or the opportunities you've had. This not only alleviates tension, but also fosters a more balanced and rational perspective. By practicing gratitude regularly, you diminish chronic dissatisfaction and cultivate a deeper sense of calm and contentment, strengthening your mind against life's daily challenges. Gratitude in personal relationships. Gratitude not only transforms your mindset, but also significantly improves your relationships. Often, we focus on what people don't do for us, or how they disappoint us, amplifying emotional noise in our minds. By practicing gratitude, this practice helps lower unrealistic expectations and appreciate what truly matters. Seneca reminds us that gratitude isn't just an internal feeling, but something to be expressed. Telling people how much you value their presence or actions strengthens bonds and creates a culture of mutual appreciation. This simple act also calms your mind, fostering peace and satisfaction. Practical example: before going to bed, think of someone who did something for you that day, no matter how small. Express your gratitude through a message or in person. This practice reinforces connections and reduces emotional noise. 8th, learn to let go of the past. One of the greatest sources of mental suffering is clinging to the past. Mistakes made, missed opportunities, or past hurts replayed over and over become an emotional burden that weighs heavily on the mind. Letting go is not about forgetting, but releasing the hold these memories have over you. By learning to let go, you free yourself to focus on the present and create a more peaceful state of mind. The Stoics teach us that the past is unchangeable. Epictetus wisely observed, "What has happened cannot be changed, but how you deal with it is entirely up to you." Letting go of the past doesn't mean denying what happened, but rather accepting it and learning from it. Seneca emphasized, "Do not let the past steal your present." When we remain stuck in what should have been, we lose the chance to live the present moment with serenity. How to let go of the past. Identify what holds you back. Ask yourself, can I change this now? If the answer is no, choose to let it go. Practice forgiveness. Forgive yourself and others. Excessive self-criticism only prolongs pain. Learn and move forward. Acknowledge your mistakes, but don't cling to them. As Epictetus said, it is impossible to learn if we are unwilling to let go of our mistakes. Imagine your painful memories as balloons you're holding. Visualize yourself releasing these balloons and watching them float away into the horizon. This symbolic act can help free you from the emotional weight tied to the past. By learning to let go, you create space to live the present with lightness and peace. It's not about erasing memories, but ensuring they no longer dominate your mind. This is an act of self-care and compassion, allowing you to move forward into a more balanced future. Reaching the end of this video shows your commitment to personal growth. Congratulations on making this important decision. Stoicism offers practical, powerful tools for facing life's challenges, and it's a joy to share this knowledge with you. If this content was helpful, leave a comment below. If you're unsure what to say, simply type gratitude. That way, I'll know you made it to the end. Not yet subscribed to the channel? Subscribe now and join our community. Here, we explore Stoic teachings and how to apply them daily for greater balance and mental clarity. And don't stop here! I've included 2 more videos filled with Stoic wisdom to help you continue learning and strengthening yourself.